And there's some really familiar faces out there this afternoon, so thank you very much for all joining us. There you are, little wave. Right, I suppose we'll get things started. Is there anyone out there this afternoon that would like to ask the first question?
I'm working.
Oh, you're live.
Can everybody hear okay? Yeah? Okay, that's fine. Can't make it too loud.
This is not rehearsed in the slightest.
Not at all.
Anything could happen. Is there anyone out there that would like to start off with the first question? If not, we do have some pre-prepared even. Put your teeth back in and start again. Questions that have been asked online. Is there anybody out there willing to go first, or shall I jump straight in? I'll jump straight in, shall I? Oh, this will be interesting then. Right then, James. So, let's have a little bit of a look at the questions here that have been sent in to us. So, can you tell us about the earliest memories of working on the fairground and amusement industry?
For those that don't know me, I'm James Mellors, one of the Mellors brothers, myself and my brother. Grew up in the fairground industry, mainly moving around the Nottinghamshire, Derbyshire area, so born and bred Nottingham, true Nottingham Forest fans. I get a few boos. I like Panther. Yeah, we support Panthers as well, anything local, apart from the county. So yeah, I've always been travelling on the fairgrounds since birth, is the true answer. So lots of memories, and it's hard to say the first one because I was literally born into a caravan at the age of 0. So I remember walking around on the rides, seeing my parents doing their work. I remember being more active, and when I say active as in more of a regular role, probably from about the age of 11. But back in those days, you didn't have child slave labour, which it wasn't. I was happy to do it. Rules were different to what they are now. So yeah, it was very different days back in those times. The good old days.
We'll see if we can still be friends after this weekend, because I'm a big West Ham fan and we actually play each other tomorrow, so we'll see.
It's a good job we're doing this interview today.
Yeah, it is, it really is. Right, there we are, so that's the question from the past. We'll move to the present currently. So, since your family bought Fancy Island back in 2016, what has been your proudest moment for you?
Difficult one. I don't think there's any one particular. I think today's one, in a way, if you want me to be honest. I think if I think back to ones that really stick out in memories, I remember when we did the first fireworks show out on the fairground side, and we done a themed one, and we saw that fireworks show. So me and my brother sat in a recording studio to create our own Fantasy Island song. We wanted to bring a bit of the magic to Fantasy Island. We came here in 2016. We felt the place was missing a bit of magic, if you want to be honest, so we wanted to start bringing it back slowly but surely. So I think when we stood out there, watched the themed firework display, there was lots of oohs and ahs, and the whole crowd erupted in applause. And I had two market traders that had been in at Fancy Island for years before came up and said, "That's the best display we've ever seen, we've never seen anything like it." Now, I would take it for granted because I have been to Disney, I know there's many people that haven't. And that's what we want to try and bring. So that was a very proud moment. Time Machine, that's been a really proud moment because I've never put so much effort into a ride. My mic's really loud. I've never put so much effort into a machine since, I'd say, 95, which is when we built the Crazy Show. So for those people that understand the rides, ever since then it was all business, going forward, rides operating safely. Didn't really matter how pretty they were, as long as they were doing the job, because it was a financially driven machine. This year, with my kids getting involved, again, they wanted to make a ride look nice. So, Time Machine was that ride. So it was really nice to have my kids working with me, physically hands-on a ride, doing what I did 30 years ago. So that's another proud moment. And seeing everybody on a beautiful day, when the weather's like this, the park's busy, it's buzzing, I can't be more proud of that. Honestly, it's obviously it's a business, but this is also more than a business to us. It's been a lifestyle ever since I've been born. We love the rides, we love the attractions, I love the magic of things. So to see all that come to life and people enjoying it is great. It's nothing worse than when it's pissy. Sorry. And it's dismal, and you walk around and you get all this effort, everything you do, and it's not happening. So no, today's another proud moment. Sorry, my answers are really long, aren't they?
No, that's what we like. Right, we've had one from the past, we've had one for the present. Let's have. Oh, what's going on right now? Come on, where's the technician? Here he is. We'll have one from the future. Quite an interesting question, this one. If you could bring any ride or attraction in the world to Fantasy Island, what would it be?
That is a real tough one. Yeah, very tough. Very tough. I think I'd love to bring something like Hagrid's from Universal. What do you do with Harry Potter? You know, the multi-launch, the braking system, the animatronics around it. For those that have been, I don't want to spoil it all, but the reverse action, the drops, there's just so much happening on that coaster that it's absolutely brilliant. So I'd love to bring something like that. So yeah, let's keep that in the dreams.
Right, so we've had a few questions that have been written in, but is anybody brave enough to ask any questions this afternoon? This is your guys' opportunity to ask any questions relatable to Fantasy Island that you might have, past, present or future. Danielle, there she is, the lovely Danielle, has put a lot of effort in today, but she's circulating with a microphone, so you can have your moment. If anybody wants to be the stars of the show this afternoon, don't all put your hands up at once. There is a couple of people who've got
we've got one down. So this is lovely Neil. Hello Neil, thanks for joining us today. What's your question for our incredible James?
Would there be any plans for building like a themed hotel?
Being completely honest, yes. So when we bought the park again in 2016, we sat down and we said, let's do a 10-year vision, a 10-year plan. We're almost 10 years down the line, and a lot of that plan hasn't worked. Multiple reasons in between, finances, COVID, stuck in the middle, so there's other business opportunities we've done. We have to remember that this is a business. One of the reasons we bought the park in the first place is because it went into administration. You'll see a lot of other parks and things now that are closing down. The business is getting extremely difficult. Things have changed so much since 2016. The amount of safety now, we need a complete team. It's not one person, it's a complete team. Everything's changed. Prices of energy, as everybody understands. Prices of wages. You know, one thing with Fantasy Island is we're still a free-to-enter park. We're trying to keep it as budget and affordable for everybody to enjoy, but it's really hard to balance. If we go back to day one when John Woodward built the park in '95, to be fair to John, he was developing caravan parks at the time. Blue Anchor was growing out the parks. Fantasy Island was a magnet for Ingoldmells escapists at the time, so it didn't have to make money because the sales on the caravans and everything else that was growing, that was making money. Fantasy Island became a magnet. For us, Fantasy Island is a business. So yes, we have plans to build hotels. Yes, we have bigger plans. And I'd love to be sitting here in 5 years with a couple of those ticked off.
Anyone else got any questions? Oh, I'm on my way.
Hi James, it's Michael from Scarecon. We've met several times. Hi. So obviously you won some awards for Fear Island a couple of years ago at my event. What can we expect from Fear Island this year?
It's good to see you, Michael, because I think it was actually your event that really made me appreciate Halloween and the fear factor, what people enjoy. It was not something for me. I don't know if anybody else likes scare attractions, but I don't even like a horror movie. I remember my brother crying at Ghostbusters when it came out. So whenever I get a horror movie, I turn it off because it's not my kind of thing. But we started it because we wanted to extend the season. Again, that was one of the original plans. Fantasy Island season is very short. It's only really the summer. So we started working on the Halloween, went to your event where they was doing the awards, and I thought, wow, this is actually bigger than I thought. So yeah, we're going to keep growing the Fear Island. It is something we're going to maintain, something we want to make better. What we're aiming to do this year, again, I'm not sure how many secrets I can keep giving away, so I'm going to be honest.
James, I'm going to speak, be very careful.
But we want to now make it feel a little bit more immersed. So this year, Halloween, we're trying to make it a little bit more immersed, where originally I think it was probably a little bit sporadic, spread around the park. We're trying to bring things a little bit more condensed, so that people want to really get into it. Again, I'm going to go back to when you step over that road and walk into Fantasy Island, I want you to feel immersed, like into the island. The same as when you go to, I keep saying Disney because of my inspiration. When you walk through those gates, you're in a different world, and that's what I want to do with it. Hope that answers.
Okay. Yeah. There's lots of new things to come, new attractions and things. Any more questions, guys? Come on, Luke. I feel like you're absolutely gearing up. Oh, Rachel's got one. Right, so this is Rachel James, one of our TikTok lovers.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, good afternoon. I was just wondering, is there any plans for any new roller coasters in the next few years?
Yes, yeah. There's always plans for. I think one of the questions I get asked a lot on social media and things like that is, are we going to put a permanent coaster in? A permanent coaster is a big step. Because like we said before, it's a huge investment, you can't change it around. So when we set a 10-year plan, it's hard to say, let's put a coaster down and think, I want to put a hotel there now, or we want to do something else. So it's very hard for us at the moment, I think, to make that commitment. One of the pleasures we have is, being from the fairground industry, we have 30 rides currently in the Middle East. We have other rides here, and we've had a real good availability of being able to move things around. So the answer will be yes. We want to keep bringing something new. I think one of the things with Fantasy Island again is it's quite a small footprint, so we can't just keep expanding because we don't have the space. And also I think we can dilute the offer. We understand that we can only get a certain amount of people down that A158 into Skegness and back again unless everybody's staying under. And because most people stay here for a weekend or a week, at the moment we're probably only on 1 day visit, and again that's what I want to try and increase. We want to try and change that so people can visit more. So yes, I do want more coasters because that's one of the other things I think that will bring other guests that don't normally come to Ingoldmells to come over. I keep going back, sorry, but I get one question, my brain just goes. Again, that was one of the things we started back in 2016. We wanted to clean up the island, and I think we've done. That was one thing. We walked around here with our families, and when I went away, said to my kids, "So wife, what do you think?" And they said, "It's really dirty." So one of the main things we wanted to do is litter. We put more bins out in year one. We wanted to change some of the signage to make things better. Then it can lead us on to bringing in coasters. So I think if we have a massive great coaster that everybody thinks of Skegness in a bad attitude, then we won't come. So we had to try and build things in the right direction, as we've done with Captain Jack's. You know, the entertainment team are fantastic now, everything's growing, everything's getting better, which adds to that package to allow us to do bigger and better things. It's all strategic.
Trust the process. Right, anybody else? Anybody else? Dan, maybe we can have a question off your pre-prepared.
Yes, go on then, I'll treat you. Right, again, we'll look towards the future in terms of one of these questions. What advice would you give to any young people out there that would like to follow in your footsteps in terms of the industry?
Don't do it. It's a labour of love. I was born into it. I don't think my kids will go out of it. Once you get into it, it grips you and it's hard to get out of the business. It's a difficult business. Everybody that's working here will tell you it's bloody hard work. You have to put the hours in. It's extremely stressful. But there's a great pride in it. There's a great passion. And I think that's the thing. Once you get into the industry, yeah, you do enjoy it. So anybody that wants to get in it, start at the bottom, work your way up, and if you're not enjoying it, get out early. It's as simple as that. But again, I'd say that to anyone doing any career. You know, get in and only do a job that you enjoy. Because for the younger kids, you spend more of your time working than anything else. So if you're not enjoying your work, do something else.
Anybody else with any other questions? Anybody had a chance to think of more?
You know, my darling?
So you mentioned Fear Island is to expand the season. Are there any thoughts of expanding further towards Christmas or maybe in a small Christmas activity?
Yes, there has been thoughts of Christmas, and we did consider it. Again, however, by the time I looked at the numbers and thought, well, the caravans are closed down. There's not enough accommodation in the area throughout the Christmas period. even if we built a hotel, let's say we had a 200 room hotel, that's only, when you think about it, 400 people at any one time. So it's not enough to really be able to do anything major, unless we had a better road. And that's one of the big problems we have here. You know, Alton Towers, Drayton Manor, they're within an hour. This is 2 hours really from anywhere. So that's one of the hardest things we've got for expanding into Christmas. So it's something I'd love to do. I'm not sure how we're going to do it, is no sense. If you've got any help, you can do it. I'm all yours.
Anyone else eager to ask a question this afternoon? Surely some of you have got some questions lined up.
You're a bit quiet, to be fair.
I know, I thought
I've just stopped shaking now. I thought I was going to get all right.
Breathe. Go then, Rach.
Sorry. I went in the archive thing earlier and I saw this like model of like a concept from years ago, obviously before you guys owned it, I imagine. But there was like a monorail going round and coming out of the pyramid, round the park and back in. I just think that's a really cool idea. Have you ever thought about anything like that?
Yes, I've seen the model. One of the things I only said earlier, actually, when I looked at the exhibition myself about the late great John Woodward, is he was brilliant at getting the press on side. So he could do things like that, potentially might never happen. But he got the press, he got people talking about Ingoldmells, Skegness, so that was something that was brilliant. Again, why not? But looking at it financially, one of the places we actually thought about it was when we bought the pier. Because we bought Skegness Pier back in 2020, I think it was now, which is the COVID time. We thought, wouldn't it be great to get a monorail from Skegness all the way up the seafront and drop off at Fantasy Island? And you know, it cuts out all the traffic, because that road and bank can be a pain in the summer. So we thought that could be what a great idea. But we looked at a few of the numbers and thought, actually, how do we make this pay again? You know, so yeah, it's never say never, but it's a difficult one. I even thought about doing the cable car. You know, people sitting in a cable car, travelling down the front. So yeah, we thought they might end up a land train instead.
Anybody else? Oh, go on then, Sam. Right, so this is Sam James, as you know.
Are you going to introduce light photographs on the Odyssey and Millennium coasters, since they're the main attractions of Fantasy Island?
Good question. The answer is yes, they should be on. But we had a lot of problems with the technology. And I don't know if everybody knows, you can get free photos of things now on your wristbands. And a lot of people don't take up on it, believe it or not. So we get a few requests, but not so many. So it's one of those things again where it's been hard to invest in something. And I don't mean this the wrong way, but a lot of enthusiasts are like the loudest to shout on certain things, but they are a minority. And we love to have the enthusiasts because they can give some fantastic opinions. And the one thing about the enthusiasts is they're not scared to share their opinions either. So at least they give us a bit of an insight of what customers are thinking. But yeah, I would like to see the photos back on there again. But I'd also like to see both of those rides be a better experience than they currently are. I'll leave it at that.
That's interesting. Any more? Oh, here we go. Come on then, Luke. Here we go. Right, what have you got to say? So this is Luke James from Russell Family Rambles.
Hi Luke, I remember my ride on the time machine with Luke and his family, so thank you for allowing me to share with you guys.
Looking into the 2026 season, I think you're looking at doing any refurbs on any other rides, or are you looking at bringing other rides to the park? What could you let us know?
I don't want to give too much away because the marketing team on that one will probably shout at me. One of the things we do want to do is do a bit of finishing off. We converted Rhombus Express, as everyone knows, which I think looks great. We tried to modernise it a little bit, but it's not quite finished. We ran out of time throughout the winter period, so there'll be a bit more work going into that to try and finish that off. And a few other renovations and tidying up works around the site. And hopefully something new for next year.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Daniel's now busy. Keep the microphone because this is
I'll take it.
Anybody else with any questions this afternoon? If not, I've got a couple more prepared. Oh, hang on. She's busy now. Danielle. Oh, hang on. She's busy. Another question up top.
I'll ask a quick question, actually.
Oh, go on then, James.
First one today. What do you think the score will be on tomorrow then?
The way we've started the season, it pains me to say that I think Forest being at home are going to win the game.
Good.
I'm going to say, I'm going to do 3-2. I'm going to go for the interesting score. I think it's going to be really
Right. When you obviously were being shown around to buy Fantasy Island, what was it that caught your eye and went, yeah, we're having that, I really want to do that, and I can see this going really well?
Again, we're being honest. We visited 3 places. In 2016, we were looking to buy 1 or 3. So we were working out to Dubai. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. We were working out to Dubai at the time, and we knew our contract in Dubai was coming to an end. So we said, right, we need to move on. We need to strategically have something permanent where we can focus our efforts and keep growing the family business. So the 3 places were for sale were Fantasy Island, Whitewater Valley, and Brighton Pier. So we did a little road trip. My brother Edwin went with his family, I went with my family, and my dad went with my mum and some friends. And at the end of the road trip, we all sat down and just said, what do we think to each? So my youngest kids wanted to buy Brighton Pier, because they said that had the better arcade games. So I just listened to them. My wife wanted to buy Whitewater Valley, because she said it was a much cleaner, nicer place, felt like there was potential there and how clean it was. My dad wanted Brighton Pier, because again, it's such a well-known place. It was already working so good, and Fantasy Island needed a lot of work. And that's the reason my mum wanted Fantasy Island. Because we said, we see this place has got potential. The year before, actually, we went to look at Blackburn Piers as well. So we looked at the piers, and when we walked on Fantasy Island, I actually stamped my foot and went, I like this better than being on a pier. So that, for us, kind of put Brighton out, because we wanted to evolve rides and work with it. And when we realised one of the main reasons my wife said about here was just dirty, we thought, we can clean it. So we just felt this had potential, and I still feel this has potential. As I said earlier, one of the biggest stumbling blocks is the accommodation and the transport links. You know, the trains are awful. So anyone who has to go on a train, I feel for you. I apologise, it's not my fault. I've tried it a couple of times. Yeah, in the summer it's rammed, in the winter it's freezing, so it is something we've spoken to the MPs about, it's something we've spoken to the rail about, to try and say, you know, there is a business here, but you are starving us on this East Coast by not giving us better links. So anyway, yeah, that was the reason we wanted Fantasy Island.
Thank you very much. And I would just like to say as well, thank you for all the acknowledgement with the 30th anniversary stuff. It's been wonderful work on the archive, and I hope we keep it going. It's been amazing. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for your help.
Thank you, Alfred. That's really sweet. James, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I'd like to, if anybody really wants to answer, who's got any old memories of Fantasy Island, and what do you miss? Go on, Sam.
Come on then, Sam.
I remember coming here to the market throughout when I was 3 and 4 years old, and I wanted to ride a Millennium Coaster, because this is where I first liked roller coasters back when I was 3 years old. But I never got a chance to, and the only rides that I went on was the juvenile rides in the marketplace, and the safari train was one of them. But when I finally got to ride the Odyssey and the Millennium Coasters, this was back when I was 15, and I was so happy, and when I rode them, I knew exactly what they were going to feel like, because in my dreams, when I rode them, they felt real. And as soon as I rode them for real, it was exactly like how my dreams predicted. And when I came here when I came here back when I was 15, on the Odyssey and I rode the Odyssey and Millennium Coasters for the first time ever, I was so happy. I was just like, I could ride this all day.
And again, that is lovely to hear. Go back to when you said what makes you proud. Moments like that. You know, people, you think of all the effort we put in at times and the thought we do. Time Machine, again, it was just our effort, but to see the amount of joy it gives to a lot of people to see things happen. And that's the other thing with Fantasy Island. That's the reason I wanted to ask people, because people have been coming here for years. This place, it means a lot to a lot of people. And I think when we tamper with it as the owners, some people get upset because they feel like it's their place. Why have you changed that? It's always been blue. Like, we don't want it blue. So So yeah, that's good to hear, Sam. It's nice to hear that so many people have fond memories.
I have a memory. So I remember being in Scallywags when I was probably like 7 years old and watching the Fantasy Island dancers. And to me now being the entertainment manager here is a full circle moment because I really wanted to be on that stage. And so to me, it's very, you don't know this, but you now know it, but to me this is a full circle moment for me, James, so it's a pleasure and an honour to be here weighing in for you and doing what we're doing, because that takes me right back to my childhood with my dad, so it's amazing. It's a lot more than what it seems on the surface.
No, I know that, and you're one of the people again, where this place runs in your blood. You know, there's many of the employees that work at this park where it isn't just a job, it means so much more to people. And I don't want to disrespect other parks, but that doesn't happen in other parks. And there are people that came here, and I wish I could remember who it was and who they sent it to. Oh, it was somebody from the newspapers that recently came over. And they came on to look around the park, and they said to, I think it was James Parker, the operations director, they said, "This is a family operated park, isn't it?" And they went, "Yeah, how do you know that?" He said, "I just can feel it." And I think that is the difference, you know, the staff feel part of that family, everybody has part of the love, and I think some of the other parks don't have that feel, and it's quite weird. I don't know how you do it, but
it's special, and we are a family here as well, aren't we? So it is special. What you guys have created is special.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions then, or memories that James has asked? Right, we're back to Neil.
Again, thank you to everybody for constantly supporting Fantasy Island. It's 30 years old. Again, thinking of the late great John Wood for doing this in the first place. We want to continue the tradition of growing it, making it better, and keeping that destination for people to keep coming on holiday. People will be coming out, as we said a little bit earlier ago, with their families. I had a recent meeting with the MP not so long ago. Told him the strains and the issues we have with the park. It's not just this park. I dare say you will see a lot of parks unfortunately closing down over the next couple of years. As you mentioned, Pleasure Island a bit earlier. It's difficult. You know, the power's going up crazy. It's very, very hard to run this industry now. Parts are extremely expensive, waiting times, even parts for a car. I'm sure everybody knows how difficult things can be. But we want to keep this going. And the MP said to me, "What's worst case scenario is?" I said, "Worst case scenario is we go bankrupt or we have to close the park." And he said, "What does that mean?" I said, "You could basically close Ingoldmells and say no." I said, "Because there's nothing here. You know, the shops, the marketplace across the road, they all feed from everybody that comes, but the overall offer is in Ingoldmells and Staircase." So I love the fact of the competition of bottoms and people trying to go up, because we need people to keep coming in. And that's the one thing we are determined to do, is to keep this place alive, even through the tough times, to ensure everybody has this place to keep coming to for the next 30 years. So again, thank you for supporting us.
Are we